What's up guys, Tommy here, bringing you a battle against PikminHero. And this is an old RU tier battle. I think they have renamed it to NU now, but to be honest I'm not really sure if they've changed around the Pokemon at all, or whether it's just a name change, but I'm just going to call it an RU battle for the time being. He leads off with Altaria, I lead off with my Seismitoad. I kind of thought he'd lead off with his Torkoal to set up the Stealth Rocks or something, so that's why I led off with him. Thought it was pretty much the safe play. But fearing the Toxic could go straight into Probopass, and he does go for that. And I just set up my rocks as he goes for a Protect. And why the name Fake, you ask? Well, this Probopass actually reminds me of an Invigilator. Well, I say this Probopass, they all look the same, but Probopass reminds me of an Invigilator we had back in school. You know, the Invigilators, the guys who just kind of walk around the exam halls intimidating the students and picking up stationery, that kind of thing. We had an Invigilator who looked just like that. You know those kind of sets you can buy in costume shops and stuff with the glasses and the big noses and the moustaches? He looked like he was wearing one of those, so we always used to just call him Mr. Fake. No idea what his real name was, and I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but that's just what we had to call him for lack of a better name. I go for a Scald on the Pinsir. I didn't want to stay with my Probopass because I feared some kind of fighting type move. But he goes for a Swords Dance on the switch, and he goes straight for an X-Scissor on my Seismitoad here. I thought I could take this better because I'm a physical wall, max defense, max HP, and Seismitoad has reasonably good defenses, but he actually kills me off in one. He got a crit, not sure if it mattered or not, but I go straight into a Majesty the Queen to finish the job, go straight for a Hurricane, and in the rain, that was 100% accuracy, so the whole point of Seismitoad really is to set up the rain, and he can sort of do a semi-sweep by himself. Like, I did have one game where I got like a 6-0 sweep just with Seismitoad for some apparent reason. I guess his team were all weak to Seismitoad's moves, but here I make a really bad play. I go for a Hurricane thinking I'd do more, or maybe hoping for confusion hacks, something like that, but he actually goes straight for a Thunder Wave. And although Hurricane's doing a reasonable amount of damage to him, it's now crippled my choice Scarfed Swanna, and that was pretty much the only thing I had to outspeed his Medicham, so really bad play on my part. He just slacks off the damage, and I think this thing gets regenerated as well, so he can just regenerate off all the damage if he wants to. But now that the rain stopped, I really need to switch out because Hurricane's probably going to miss sometimes. It's a pretty low accuracy move without the rain. So I go straight back into Probopass, thinking it was probably the safe switch no matter what he did, so he goes into his Torkoal again just to maybe Rapid Spin away the rocks or set up his own, but I decide I'm going to set up a Gravity on this guy just to get the higher accuracy, because Gravity is kind of an interesting move. Not only does it lower, obviously like it grounds flying types and, you know, levitators, that kind of thing, but it also lowers the enemy's evasion, which is pretty much the equivalent of you raising your own accuracy by a couple of points. So moves like Tail Slap or, you know, Stone Edge, Inferno, that kind of stuff really benefits from having the Gravity up, so I thought it was a kind of nice addition to add to the team. It's not really a weather as such, but it sort of works in the same way as the weathers do, so anyways, I set up a Gravity, go for an Earth Power on this guy to get some damage on him, and he decides to switch out into his Porygon Z. Now, I go for an Earth Power here on the switch, and, like, I mean, Earth Power really doesn't do much to this guy, so I decide I'm just going to have to switch out. I don't really think Porygon Z could do much to me, but if he brought it in, he must have some kind of plan, so I thought I'd switch out into my Hitmonchan here just to sponge whatever he does to me. I sort of assumed he would be Choice Scarfed or Choice Specs, that's normally what you see, but he goes for a normal gem boosted, adaptability, base 135 special attack, stabbed, +2, buckle my shoe, partridge in a pear tree, try attack, and that's easily going to take out Hitmonchan from that kind of range. No chance of surviving that. Hitmonchan is my dedicated special wall in this team, and he's got Rapid Spin as well, but to be honest, his health stat and his move pool really aren't that great for being a special wall, so probably not the best of choices. I think I have since changed out Hitmonchan and two others as well. I've kept Cinccino, Seismitoad, and Swanna just for another battle, but anyways, I U-turn out thinking he'd probably switch out, fearing either a Wake Up Slap or a Tail Slap, because Cinccino can easily outspeed Porygon Z since he's not Scarfed. I U-turn out into my Probopass just because Torkoal really can't touch this guy, and I don't think I go straight for an Earth Power. I think I actually go straight for a Gravity to set it up, yeah. Set up a Gravity, and since the Torkoal's in, I didn't really want to kill it off because then he'd get Switch Initiative on whatever he brought in, maybe like Medicham or something along those lines. So instead of actually going for the Earth Power to kill him off, I decide to switch out into something else. And I go ahead and bring back in my Cinccino. It actually works out for me because he decides to switch out as well, knowing that he really can't do much to my Probopass. So he switches out into his Medicham, I believe. And this was kind of a weird move. One, because I thought it was a good idea to stay in against the Scarf Medicham. And two, because he actually switched out. I guess I kind of thought that I would still outspeed even though it is Scarfed, forgetting its speed stat, but like, to be honest, I wouldn't have been able to outspeed, and he could have gone for a high jump, he can easily kill me there, but I go for a Tail Slap thinking I'm faster, but it actually works out for me anyway because he switches out into his Torkoal, and a tail slap will easily take him out from that kind of range, which is good. He brings out Altaria, and he goes for Protect first turn. Maybe just to stall out turns of Gravity, or maybe just to see what kind of move I'd go for. Maybe I'd go for a Rock Blast or something, but I'm actually Choice Banded, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep going for the Tail Slap. And since the Gravity's up, it should be 100% accuracy, though I'm not exactly sure on that. Tail Slap really isn't the most accurate of moves to start with, but Gravity really does help out. He goes for Toxic, and I sort of assumed he would go for Protect next turn, since I've already seen that he's got it, and he probably just wants to stall out a bit more Toxic damage on me, so I'm just going to go ahead and switch out into my Crispy Duck, because I don't know why Magmar has a Duck Bill, but it does look like he has some kind of Duck Bill going on there, but going to Magmar, and the reason I put Magmar on this team is because I sort of wanted a physical Magmortar for some reason, but then I checked out Magmar and realised that it actually has the exact same attack stat, and surprisingly slightly higher speed as well, so it works much better as a physical sweeper than Magmortar does. So I go ahead and put Eviolite on this guy, and I'm not really sure why I brought out Swanna here, because to be honest, like, Swanna could have been saved for later. As you see, I actually live a high jump kick, which could have meant that I could have brought him in later and just killed him off with a Hurricane, assuming it might have hit, but I don't know. Swanna was pretty much the victim of my bad plays this game, so poor Swanna. Anyways, I go into my Magmar again. I don't really know why I decided to do this. I think I'd pretty much given up hope at this point, but I go for a Will-O-Wisp, just hoping I might be able to live one of his high jump kicks. Again, I could have stayed in earlier and just gone for a Will-O-Wisp because I'm not choiced in anyway, and they just took extra Stealth Rock damage, so I go for a Flare Blitz actually, thinking that I would be able to outspeed this thing since he's not choice scarfed, so I do get some pretty nice damage on this Porygon Z actually. But he's not going to mess around in setting up Nasty Plots, that kind of thing, so he just goes straight for a Tri-Attack just to kill off my Magmar. I go into Probopass because I know that this Porygon Z can't really do much to me unless he spends ages setting up, but he's probably not going to risk that given that I could just kill him off with one Earth Power. I decided to set up a Gravity just to set up my Cinccino for a last minute sweep in the hope that I might be able to outspeed that Medicham and kill it off, but I go straight for an Earth Power on the Porygon Z after setting up the Gravity. And these Thunderbolts are doing reasonable damage considering Probopass's amazing special defense, but go for an Earth Power just to kill him off, and now I'm really fearing that Medicham because I really don't have anything for it. I just kind of have to hope that he thinks that my Cinccino is scarfed and maybe I can play around that a little bit, but anyways, he goes into his Slowking, and all I can really do at this point is Pain Split, stall him to death, because Earth Power is going to be doing nothing to this guy. I don't have the Zap Cannon on this battle because, I don't know, I guess I forgot to put it on. I actually outspeed him, which is pretty hilarious. I know he's slow, but I didn't know he was that slow, but anyways, I'm just going to stall him out as much as I possibly can, try and get some damage on him before I bring in my Cinccino just to finish the job. I just keep Pain Splitting away, and I'm kind of hoping that I can stall him out long enough such that on the final turn when Gravity does run out, I can just set up a Gravity again, and then just let him kill me off so I can bring in Cinccino just to finish the job. Because I really don't want those tail slaps missing, and, you know, obviously, I think that Medicham would kill me at this point anyway, but I just kind of have to hope for a miss on the high jump kick. Since it is a pretty low accuracy move, I think it's only like 90 or 85 or something, but I think he does kill me off here with a Surf, so Probopass, you did your job well. I really like this Pokemon actually. It's really good for trapping stuff like Durant and Layeron and Aggron, that kind of stuff as well, but anyways, he kills me off there, and he is at reasonably low health here. The Gravity runs out just here, actually, coincidentally. Bit unfortunate, but I just have to hope for the Tail Slap hits. It is the best attack I've got for both of these guys, so go for a Tail Slap. I kill him off with 2, which is good. I actually have Technician on this guy. He said that he thought my Cinccino would be the Skill Link one from the Dream Mode or whatever, but to be honest, I just don't use Dream Mode abilities, full stop. He goes for a high jump kick, and unfortunately it doesn't miss, so Cinccino goes down. But that was a great battle, PikminHero. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.